Hi, everyone. This is Uma coming to you live on Saturday, December 7th, 2018. I am aware of that little green dot right there. That's been, since we're talking about all things metaphysical and spiritual related, ascension wise, I've noticed anytime I go on YouTube or if I'm chatting with my friends this way online or on the computer, I've been noticing this little green dot that shows up. And sometimes people say, oh, it's the computer, or the lights behind me, but it actually moves. See, it disappears, it moves. And then I've been in this room or my kitchen or other rooms, and it's just been there. So that's another thing that started happening recently. So hi, as you're coming in, just introduce yourselves and we'll just start talking a little bit about all things metaphysical, spiritual, and ascension related. I wanted to do this video because a lot of us have been having a hard year. For those of you who don't know, my name is Uma. I own Lotus Wellness Center in Northern Virginia, and I work with clients and students with them about their spiritual path. I work with close to 1,000 people every year. This year, my numbers are at about 905, I think, was my last count in October. And I'm noticing a lot of trends that I want to talk about because sometimes when we're on this path, we can feel alone. We can feel like nobody understands what we're going through. We can feel segregated from the rest of the world. And I really just want to reach out to you if this appeals to you and let you know that you don't have to feel alone. I'm actually seeing a lot of things happen to a lot of people. So, hi, Autumn. Good morning. So let's talk a little bit about what's been happening. 2018 has been a rough year. And from a numerology perspective, if you look at 2018, it adds up to 11, right? Most people say it's a 2-year, but it really is an 11-year. And what is 11? The number 11 is for awakening. So as you reflect back on 2018, hi, Miyaka, good morning. Can you see, hi, Jen, can you see how it's been very, very hard on yourself personally? Is that resonating with anybody? Because what I've been noticing with my clients, my students, and myself is it's been extremely hard for all of us. That 11-year is about awakening and awakening us to the true us, who we really are. It has been an awakening about people in our lives. You might have found out a lot of things about people in your life that you didn't know before. And it's also been awakening you to your path. And maybe some of you are in jobs that are no longer fitting anymore. And you're just like, why am I here? And what am I here and supposed to do? Right? That's the whole point of this year of 2018. So I'm going to start by saying that it's a reminder that it was set up to be this way, to be an awakening year with the number 11 of 2018. Sometimes awakenings are just not pleasant, right? And think about this from this perspective. We tend to, a praying person, tend not to pray or get down on their knees and pray to God until they're in a bind, they're in a situation. When things are going good, when we're all happy, we have the love of our lives, we have all the money, we're like, la, 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 we're just living, right? But then when things go bad, that's when we bend a knee. That's when we get down on the floor and say, please, God, help me. Please, God, be there for me. And it's the same thing on the spiritual path and the metaphysical path. We tend not to remember our practice until we're in it. So I want to start with that because sometimes I see my students and my clients beat themselves up because they're not like doing yoga every day or meditating every day or writing in their journal or doing their Reiki. And they feel really bad about it. And I say, don't be bad. Don't feel bad about it. This is human nature to only want to worship or do spiritual practice when things are going bad. Does that make sense? So I want to start with that. The other thing is I've noticed there've been a lot of patterns this year where people have been ascending, I myself included. And it's been really, really hard. Physically, it's terrible. So I'm going to start by reminding you guys, I'm not a doctor. I own a wellness center, so I'm going to share knowledge from my heart and from my own personal experience. And hopefully this can help you guys as well in trying to understand some things. I have never had headaches before. This year, man, it's been insane, the headaches. I got checked out. I'm fine. Okay. One of my students, not only did she get checked out, she went so far as to get a CAT scan. She's fine. There's nothing wrong. So we've started realizing part of the ascension symptoms is getting headaches. It's like almost like you're increasing the vibration. And as you're up leveling to a newer vibration, your whole body, your whole mind is trying to wrap around that and get used to that. So if you're feeling like you have headaches, of course, I'm going to tell you, go see a doctor, get that checked out medically first. And if they don't come back with, oh, you have an issue, more than likely it's an ascension symptom. It definitely could be an ascension symptom. The other thing I've noticed is my stomach. Whew, just terrible. It feels like you're kind of like on a roller coaster, right? Like the butterflies in your stomach. And then sometimes you just feel nauseous. Sometimes you just feel like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. That is another awakening ascension symptom as well. Autumn says, yes, she's had an awakening. Autumn, please feel free to chime in and let us know what you've been experiencing as well, or if this sounds familiar to you. So the stomach has been really interesting. Now, it makes sense why the head and the stomach would be going when you're going in an ascension. What do we have in the head? We have our third eye, right? Ajna. And then we have our crown chakra, Sahasrara. And then in the stomach, we have our sacral chakra, right? And then which is Swadhisthana. And then we have our solar plexus, which is Manipura, right? Those are 4 major chakras that we work with. And when you're having an awakening, this is how they're all being affected. Negative for me. Yeah. Losing friends and family has been huge. Yeah, love. I would definitely say that it's an ascension. It's what it is. With the chakras in the stomach, we have the sacral chakra. Now, everybody knows that as the chakra for sexuality and also creativity. Your sacral chakra is where you get those creative thoughts and that divine connection to the universe, as is the solar plexus. That's your power center, right? It's you establishing power and dominance in the world. It's, as Jesus said, being in this world, but not of this world. That's when you have your solar plexus awakening. So when you have an ascension, you're going from one level to the next. What's happening is spiritually, you're there. You arise there very easily spiritually. Mentally, a little bit harder, but you get there. But physically, that's where you start to have the problems. So if you start to feel any sort of issues in your tummy, right, like nausea or just gurgling, you might hear your tummy making a lot of noises. If you feel those things, then basically what's happening is that you are experiencing the ascension symptom. Okay. With the head, we can understand the headaches even more now, right? Because third eye, expansion, it's going to feel very tight and restricted here. And then crown chakra, as that's opening, you can start to feel things back here, is where you would start to feel almost like some physical pain. So I've been having those, and as I'm talking and sharing with my clients and my students, they've been saying the same thing. Oh, Uma, I'm having the same thing too. And I'm pretty sure that some of you on here are feeling that as well, or realizing, hey, I've been having that as well. So on a physical level, that's what you're going to feel. Legs. Let's talk about the legs. Usually we associate the legs with moving forward in life. And then when you have leg issues like restless leg syndrome or just cramps or aches and pains, it's some sort of realization that you have a fear of moving forward. Like maybe on a soul level, I need to move forward, I need to move out of this situation, but you just can't. And that's when you don't. And then it's like your legs start to have issues as well. Jen's chiming in too. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been intense, and that's exactly what it is. Hi, Kenzie. The pressure and the tingling, that's it. You guys are onto it. That's exactly what this is. It's the pressure and the tingling. And you can't do anything. Like I've tried peppermint oil, I've tried ice, I've tried like blacking out the room and taking all the lights off. Somebody told me, oh, it's a migraine. And again, I got checked out. I'm fine. It's not migraines. And rashes on the neck. Now that's interesting, Jen. I have not heard of that, but I'm glad you're sharing that. If anybody else has had that, then chime in and let her know, because we're all trying to just figure this out, right? We're all just trying to figure this out. So the legs, hips, legs, feet, if you're having any sort of issues with that, it's about fear of moving forward. Sometimes we know we're meant to move forward, we're meant to leave things behind, but we don't want to, out of comfort, out of safety and security. So we tend to just clam up. And then when we do that, we clam up in our legs. Arms, in IET, I teach IET, integrated energy therapy. And we talk about the arms in the advanced class is about embracing your soul mission. So how does that feel when you get a reading from a reader who like, oh, you're meant to be this great reader or this great healer? And then you're like, sure, but I don't really want to commit to that. That's when you start to have the pressure in the shoulders or the elbows or the wrists, right? You're not really embracing. Yeah, Jen's like, I'm having major tight psoas on both sides. That's in the legs. So I'm calling attention to all of you guys about this stuff, because sometimes we tend to, as humans, we tend to just ignore things. Oh, I slept wrong. But if you've had it like 12 days now in a row, are you sleeping wrong every night? Or is there something more going on here? Is there something bigger going on here? Right? I've been having so much ascension symptoms. And then I was just kind of like, at one point, I was just done. I was like, I just need to get over this. And you guys, those of you who follow my channel with the daily readings, you've noticed me missing. And in all honesty and vulnerability, I'm going to tell you, yeah, I've been missing because I've just been having just such a hard time. And I want you guys to know it's not just like, everybody's going through it. So my advice is to pay attention. And as I said that, it was 12:12, as I said that. And here's my little friend. This little green dot here is my friend. Okay. And 12:22, as I said that again, right? Here we go. This is what it's about as you start to find yourself more in synchronicity in life. Now, how many of you, and I know Autumn has mentioned it already, how many of you, like Autumn and myself, have had to let go of people this year? That's a hard one, isn't it? Right? That's hard because where you're going, not everybody can go with you, and not everybody wants to go with you. And one of the hardest things I've had to deal with in my lifetime is letting go of people and saying goodbye. Nobody likes to say goodbye. Everybody likes to keep everybody in their lives, and you like to keep it constant. And then I had to find out the only thing that's constant is change. Yeah, this is little orb. I guess it's a he. He's been here this whole week with me. Friends and family. Yeah, it's hard. We love everybody and we love people in our lives. And I have to tell you, I had to let go of a lot of women in my life that were friends, that were with me at my center. I had to let go of them this year. And I got to tell you, they're not bad people. They're not bad. I'm not bad. It's just we were just all going in different directions. And we just reached this place where we weren't traveling together anymore. Yeah, toxic relationships. And that's the thing. Autumn brought a good point. Sometimes if we don't do the right thing and let go, when it's time to let go and we hang on, then those beautiful relationships become toxic. And like I told a friend of mine when I had to let her go, I said, if I don't let go now, we're going to stay in each other's lives and it's just going to become worse. And we're going to get to this point where we actually hate each other. So if you're experiencing that right now, I feel like I'm talking to somebody on here that you're in the process of needing to let go of someone, but you don't want to let go. My advice is let go now, salvage the friendship, try to, have something good come out of it instead of taking it down the path where it just gets so ugly and terrible that you can't make anything out of it. It's just lost. Okay. Thank you, Autumn. I felt like I was talking to somebody here because that's definitely, yep, Jen, we know that one. And the interesting thing about mothers, okay, my mom and I, we did not talk for about 3 years we just did not get along. We did not talk. And again, she's not a bad person. She's my mom, but hi, April. But we had to let go. We had to say goodbye for a bit. She had to go her way. I had to go my way. Now we're back. We're thicker than thieves, like we talk every day. Everything's fine. But sometimes you need space. So Jen, I'm just going to tell you, if your relationship with your mom at this point in time needs a little bit of space, that's okay. That's okay. People who are your family, they always tend to come back into your life some way, somehow. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is, why is this happening? A lot of my friends that channel, as including myself, because I channel with the universal forces, what the messages we've been getting is that the energy of the earth has been speeding up. All those yoga classes and all those meditation classes we've all been doing, guess what? It's been working, right? Jen's a yoga teacher out there in Canada, right? So all the stuff that we've been doing has actually been contributing to the evolving and the evolution of the planet. So now we have to go with it. It's like we started a wheel rolling, and it's now rolling and rolling. And guess what happens with a wheel? It picks up speed, right? So it's picking up speed, and we're feeling that in the body and in the relationships around us. We're feeling that. And that's why it's so important not to go negative in this moment of time. All right. We have to learn. My boyfriend, my partner, Rob, he loves to say, life is nothing more than learning how to say hello and goodbye, and easily and gracefully easing in and easing out of people's lives. That's it. But we can't get mad when we have to say goodbye. I've had the beautiful fortune of having to say goodbye to people when I was in this one zone where I was at. And then a couple years passed and they came back into my life. And it was like meeting an old friend and a new friend all over again, because they were in their new space. I was in my new space. So while we had that familiarity with each other, we still had to get to know each other again, because it was like, oh, but you do these things now. Like, that's so awesome. That's so interesting. So that's another thing that we have to pay attention to. For those of you that are having to say goodbye to people, I know how hard it is. It's hard. It's very, very hard to say goodbye to people. But I've done it so much in my 40 years of life. Whether I had to move from one continent to the other, or one state to the other, or one town to the other, I've had to say goodbye so many times. And you know what I'm going to tell you? Spirit is never going to take somebody out of your life and leave you alone and stranded where you're just by yourself. That's not the whole point of this. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you. I'm coming on here to share more. One of the things is in being the owner of a wellness center, people only see me in a professional view, when I come on and I do the readings, or when I teach my classes or work with my clients. And I want you guys to know I'm human too. I make mistakes. I make a ton of mistakes. But more than that, I'm going through all the things you guys are going through. And I feel like we all need to start talking about it, because I had this one client this week, and she was going through it so bad that she was like alienating herself from her family, from her friends. She wasn't like showering. She wasn't like, she was just really going down this rabbit hole. And then I started giving her like advice. I was like, did you experience this? Did you experience this? And do you feel this? And they're like, oh my God, yes. What is all of this? And I said, we're all going through it. Do you know she cried? She sat there and cried because she's like, I feel like I was going crazy. And I don't want anybody here to feel like you're going crazy. We're all going through it together. The best thing that we can do is find each other. And this is what we're doing. By watching this video, by us interacting, by us talking, we're finding each other and we're saying, yay, we're ascending. How awesome is that? And we don't have to go through it alone. We don't have to go through it alone. We can work together and we can communicate and say, hey, how's this for you? How's this for you? I'll tell you, and maybe for some of you, you might identify with this, but did you notice from September to now, it's been particularly difficult? Or is that just me? Was that just me? From September to now, I'm like, I feel like I've been hit with a Mack truck. I wake up feeling sore. Okay. I wake up feeling sore and I'm like, what did I do last night? I don't know what I did. By the way, I have to say this because I'm working with a coach and I'm terrible. I'll tell you guys right now, I'm terrible on social media. So if you're watching and you're liking this video, can you please click like, tring, just click like on this video and support me and my channel. Jen says sore every single day, right? And it's like, what is that about? Basically, what that is about is that we are doing a lot of what I've been told from spirit is that we're doing a lot of processing at night and we're working through a lot of things that we don't want to work on in waking life. We're working it through at nighttime. Last night, my partner and I, we went to bed early, like maybe about 9:30. And oh, hi, Penny. Penny says she's sore every day. You would not believe it, guys. We woke up this morning at the same time, like at 5:42 a.m. this morning, drenched in sweat. And no, we were not playing around. We both woke up drenched in sweat. I had the worst nightmares ever, and he had the worst nightmares ever. And I'm like, what was that? And he tapped in because he also channels, and he said what I just shared with you. Spirit told him that they are clearing us of our fears. Does that resonate for anybody? Do you feel that? That you've been clearing your fears at night? So pay attention to that. If you're waking up sore and you're waking up like drenched in sweat, or you're having these nightmares, it's more than likely an ascension symptom. As you're working through old energy, you're working through old pain, and you're clearing it. Crazy nightmares and night sweats. Yeah, you guys are identifying. So see, I came on here. I knew I wanted to talk about ascension symptoms. I didn't know exactly where this was going to go, but I trusted that spirit was going to take this conversation where it needed to go. So Jen, April, Penny, what I'm going to tell you guys, Autumn, I'm going to tell you guys, you guys are ascending. Okay. So what does that mean? It means that you're moving up the energy scale. Your frequency, your vibration is rising from here and it's going up, and you're ascending. Now, the beautiful thing about the ascension is that you're going to have more clairvoyance, more clairaudience, more claircognizance, right? You're going to see, feel, hear, and know. But the downside of that is your body's trying to catch up. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but quantum physics has proven that there are 10 dimensions to us. So what does that mean? That means there's Uma here, and there's 9 other little Umas on other dimensions. It's not just me. There's several of me, as there are you. Now, your mind and your body are in different dimensions than your soul. So whereas I have the physical body here, we call this 3D. And 3D means 3-dimensional because we have width, height, and depth, right? That's the 3 dimensions of the physical body. It's pretty much what you see. That's what's here. And then your mind is on 4th dimension, which, by the way, is why they say your thoughts create your reality. Because if you can change your thoughts, it's easier to change your thoughts than to change in the physical, because the physical is the slowest moving part. Yeah, just Jen said it. Say thank you. Just, it's one of those things. It's like, it's terrible when it's happening, but thank you for it. So you have your 3D body where everything is the slowest. It's like moving like molasses. Then you have the 4th dimension of you, which is your mind, which moves a little faster and gets things a little faster than your body. And then your soul is 5th to 10th dimension, depending on how, enlightened you are and how much work you do. It's 5th to 10th dimension. So things, when your soul decides, okay, we have had enough material here that we can go through an ascension, it's going to ascend, right? And then when it ascends, your mind says, oh, all right, we'll catch up. And then your body's like, oh, fine, I'm kind of like ER from, Winnie the Pooh. He's like moving very slowly and getting there. Jen says, I always hear my other Jens are either before or after me. Yeah. And your phone, right? Do you guys always hear, like, that's interesting you say about the phone. I always hear like a phone going off and I'm like, what is that? Or I hear somebody calling my name. right? Wouldn't that be cool? There's like the other dimensional parts of us that are just reaching out to us. So that's why we're feeling it in the body, because while your soul ascended about maybe 2 weeks ago, and your mind finally got there about a week ago, now your body's going through it. And that's why you're feeling the process in the body. So you would feel aches and pains, headaches, nausea, upset stomach, right? Stuff like that. Arms, legs issues, right? And there you go, April. April's like, oh my God, I hear the phone going off. Yeah, it's the dimensional, because trust and believe, you have a phone in the other dimensions. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, Jen. Thank you for joining us. And the thing is we have to be aware of these symptoms, because if we're not, what's going to happen is you can easily fall into like a depression or a sadness or isolation, because you start to feel like I'm the only one going through this. Ja Carmichael says, what about eyesight? Interesting you ask. When I had the bump in my clairvoyant skills, when that happened back in 2010, 2011, because it was after my Reiki attunement in 2009, I felt like sand in my eyes. It felt very gritty. And then when I'm looking, things would appear blurry, like this orb. That's my friend that's sitting right here by my face, this little orb here. I saw that all over the place. And I went to the eye doctor to get my eyes checked out. And he said, everything's fine. There, you don't have any cataract or glaucoma or anything like that. My eyesight was fine. My prescription didn't even, actually, my prescription did change. It went down. Instead of like increasing, it actually decreased by 0.5 point. And he was amazed. He's like, what are you doing? I didn't want to tell him my clairvoyance opened up. He's going to be like, you're crazy. So with your eyesight, Ja Carmichael, you're probably starting to feel things. Now, I have to warn you, because at the time that I had the eyesight issues, a friend of mine on Facebook also had eyesight issues. We both got it checked out. She ended up actually having MS, multiple sclerosis. And I ended up just having the clairvoyance build and create. So you guys know I'm always going to tell you, please check with your doctors. Please make sure it is not medically related. And then if the doctors come back and say, hey, this is not, you're fine, then more than likely it's an ascension symptom. Oh, here's another one. What about the water, right? How many of you have been craving water, like you've been in a desert for 20 years and just feeling like, I need to drink water, I need to drink water, I need to drink water. I drank this whole thing down, and now it's like, look, halfway gone again, because I'm just thirsty all the time. And then light blue orb during massage session. Yeah. And if your eyes get blurry, that's it. That's like when you're bumping up in your clairvoyance as well. Okay. It's definitely, yeah, we both have the show. Penny and I went to see Deepak Chopra, and we got our Chopra Center bottles. And this, by the way, if any of you are interested, this is a test tube with crystals. My friend Cheryl Gianelli makes this. Her website is peaceandlaughter.com. And she made it in little test tubes so you can transport it bottle to bottle, because they have bottles that are made with this like in middle, but it's stationary, so you can't change it. And usually people have different water bottles. So she made test tubes with it. And each rock collection, like this one is for health in the body, because I've been having the body issues. She has some for psychic intuition, love and relationships, attract your soulmate. She has different crystals for different reasons. Okay. So you definitely want to check her out, peaceandlaughter.com. So that's one of the things is that you can look for is definitely the ascension symptom of needing more water. It's like, because when you think about an ascension, we all have a light column within us. Your spine is actually a light column. And that's why, have you ever noticed that when you do energy work, you start to like shine bright? I haven't done my energy work this morning, and usually my face would be glistening. Like right now it just looks kind of matte. And if I do energy work, all here is shiny, here is shiny, here is shiny. That's because that's your light column coming out. And you ever met people who you're just like, she's just like shining, she's just bright. I had this one friend, she would do, yes, peaceandlaughter.com. Tell her Uma sent you. Tell my friend Cheryl Uma sent you. I love Cheryl. She does great stuff. Um, I had this friend, she did a lot of access classes and she took a picture of her hand and put it on Facebook. It was all sparkly. She didn't put any cream on. It was just all sparkly. So that was really interesting. 30 minutes. I'm going to end the video now. I just wanted to come in and chat with you guys and check in with you guys. I want you guys to know that I am concerned. I am hoping that you guys are doing okay. I'm doing okay. And I just want to make sure you guys are doing okay as well. All right. Let's take care of each other. Let's look out for each other. And if you're feeling down and out, if you're feeling that you can't handle things, yes, please hit the like button, everyone. Thank you, Autumn. Thank you so much for that. If you're feeling like down and out and everything, please feel free to reach out to me, reach out to other people. Of course, if you reach out to me and say things like, I feel like I want to die, I feel like I want to kill myself, I have to refer you to a mental health counselor or practitioner because that's not my scope. And I operate solely in my scope as a spiritual healer and a helper. So just be cognizant of that. All right. For those of you that are wanting to do a deep clearing and get yourself ready for the new year, I have something for that. And that actually started 3 years ago because I started noticing I needed to do that for myself. And that would be the New Year, New You workshop. So I'll put the link in below for the New Year, New You workshop. It's coming up the last weekend of December. You can fly in for it. You can drive in for it, but it's meant to help with these things. So people have a place to go. All right, my loves, I love you all. Stephanie says, oh, low constant hissing in the ears. Oh, Stephanie, we didn't even get to the ears, girl. See, there's so much to talk about. Their ears, right? Everything. The online mentorship is 45 each class. And I have a link for that as well. It's 45 US each class. It's 2 hours. The first one is Monday, January 7th. From 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yes, I'm looking forward to working with those of you who are not in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. I want to work with you. I want to help. That's what I do from my heart. This is what I do. Next year, it's 10 years I've been working as a healer. So I know we're all going through this and you don't have to be alone. All right. Either let me help you, find your community where you are, let them help you, but don't ever feel like you're alone. All right, my loves, thank you so much. And hopefully I will be back and share another intimate conversation with you guys.